Yo, bust it. Welcome back. I'm on the track. Yeah, I got that connect.
Oh, hey, that's what I'd like to hear. All right, let me ask you a question, though. How come you're allowed to fake freestyle and every time I try, you shut me down?
Because I'm better than you.
Oh, wow. I know we had a Drake Meek Mill thing going on over here.
Nah, it's not that far.
It's not that bad. All right.
He got slaughtered.
Yeah, it's bad. We're going to get to that in a second.
I got to talk about it.
Welcome back to Off the Record here on WRCT 88.3 FM. Live every single Tuesday. Today is August 4th, 2015. Welcome to the show. My name is Nolex Belma, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely and talented co-host. She's the OJ the Juice Man to my Gucci Mane.
Hey.
She's the Jorge Posada to my Andy Pettit. The one and only Miss Alyssa P. Lyon, everybody.
What was that?
She was listening to Missy Elliott videos earlier. Sex me so
Say blah, blah, blah.
Work it. I need a glass of water.
Look at black culture, but can we name the elements on it? Look at this.
And as always, we're joined by my personal reverend, the DJ extraordinaire, Mr. DJ SB, better known in some streets as Jay Oriola, everybody.
Stop, man. We just thank, as always, man. I'm glad to be here. Live and direct, man. We got a fun show going
Live and direct. Let me ask you a question. How's the new spot that we moved into? That you moved into, that I helped transport and sweat on Saturday. Yes. How's the new spot treating you?
It is vibe. I ain't gonna tell y'all where I is, because y'all gonna be coming up in there, what you got cooking and all that. However,
I have a clue for everybody. He lives next to a McDonald's. Try to figure that one out. Huh?
You know, there's only a few in Pittsburgh. But the new spot is smooth, man. Had to get out the old spot. It was tumbling down. You know them old houses. It's cheap, but had to get into a small apartment. So I'm just thankful, man. Shout out to my bro Lex. He brought his people with him, you know what I mean?
We had the squad in there. Brandon, Shell.
My son is extremely strong.
Yeah, another fellow,
extremely.
A fellow comic helped myself help Jay move in this weekend. And he was like doing Tetris with the putting stuff in the Jeep. It was awesome.
I gave him a solid black people dap.
That's what I'm talking about.
He wanted to shake my hand. I said, "Come on in here, bro." I was about to say, "What's up, man? What's up with you?" All right,
White people can't say the N-word just like black men can't say "F you, officer." It's very simple. Very simple. All right, now I want to say welcome back to the show, Alyssa. You over there? All engaged? Are you following up with some activities from the weekend? What's going on?
Nah, there was a GIF.
A GIF?
Yeah, so I have a group chat full of girls and a gay guy. So
can I get in this chat? Don't like.
So you wouldn't want to.
I've seen group chats, man,
recently. I don't know if you guys have seen Twitter today.
Yes, I did.
But over the weekend or whenever, Lenny Kravitz split his pants.
That's what's
in
up.
the process, his penis came out.
Hey.
So there's a GIF of it.
At least
of
we
the
know
penis popping out of the leather pants.
He has to be circumcised because he's Jewish.
My God. Okay.
I thought it was more of a SpongeBob.
Troy Ave voice. Facts though.
I thought it was a SpongeBob. I ripped my pants type of thing. But you mean like son was out there?
Like he was shredding it and he did a squat and it came out.
Yeah.
So they want to see the video. I was looking for the video.
So is that what goes on? In women group chats?
In this womenly group chat.
Yeah.
All
right. So you out of all of them, you're the one looking for that video. You specifically.
We already know what's good.
I mean,
it's not going to arouse you. You're gonna be like, that's cool. That's what's up.
I do love Lenny Kravitz. He's fine.
Yeah, he's an awesome dude. There's a lot of random stuff going on. There's something that I saw you post on Facebook today.
Oh yeah.
That caught my attention. Kelly Osbourne was a guest host on The View this morning. And she definitely came out the side of her neck talking crazy.
She did.
In response to a conversation about Donald Trump.
Yeah, so Kelly Osbourne, who's the daughter of Ozzy Osbourne, and they had that show on MTV for about 5 years.
And Sharon, is that the mom's name?
Sharon.
She's on The Talk. That show is awesome.
She's on The Talk. She did Major Makeover. Remember that? And so Kelly Osbourne said on The View today, she was like, well, Mr. Trump, I just want to say to you that if we kick all the Latinos out of the country, then you'll have no one to clean your toilets.
Yeah, who's going to clean your toilet, bro?
Who's going to clean your toilets, Donald Trump?
Yeah, she...
Yeah.
And so here's what's messed up.
She's an airball.
Can't do that.
The second she said it, there was like a audible, like awkward pause, and then Rosie Perez shot right back like, no, I mean that's not all we have offered to us as Latinos, as a proud Latina. It was cool. They came back from commercial, and Rosie Perez apologized.
Out of all people, Rosie Perez.
I thought she was coming out there 2 guns blazing.
Out of all people, Rosie Perez apologized. When Raven says ignorant stuff, when I've seen other people say, she'll shout them out.
Right.
But this just shows, and I know this sounds bad, but privilege of some sort that she allowed her to backpedal. Like what she said, she should have rephrased it. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was horrible phrasing.
Her semantics were off.
Was it more of a shot to Donald Trump saying...
No,
or was it actually how she felt? Because I watched it and I was trying to see the intention behind it. Even though you call a spade, I was really trying to see what she was actually framed, because she kept saying, no, I mean, and I'm like,
no, I think what happened was,
switch alike, man.
I understand the point that she was trying to make. I just think she went about it in a terrible way. Right. I think what she was trying to say was, how do you expect to get the Latino vote with what you've said? How do you expect for them? You probably have Latinos who work for you in some capacity.
Right.
I mean, she didn't have to go direct to service, and especially cleaning toilet bowls. But I think I know what she was going for. But that's not even what you say in that argument. You just say that your comments should disclude you from getting any Latino votes, period.
Right.
They just finished running down the stats saying that only like 75% of Latinos hate him and all this other stuff. She didn't have to do that.
I mean, I know what she's realistically thinking, right? We all realistically think Latinos come in, they do the hardest jobs.
Yeah.
They stand out and wait for people to pay them.
They do the jobs that we don't want. They do the jobs
that the ignorant Americans or the uppity Americans don't want.
Yeah.
So I understand that, but it's not necessarily cleaning someone's toilet.
I mean,
that's how she views Latinos, and that's what she has to change.
I think that's the ignorance of the statement.
She's snared by the words of her lips. You know what I mean? Especially when you're on national television and you're Kelly Osbourne. I mean, come on now, Pete. You're not getting no grace treatment when it comes to that.
You know who's about to be on national television again? Our good friend, Officer Darren Wilson. So he just did an interview that came out in the New Yorker, the magazine, where essentially what he's saying is that he can't get a job because no other police force will hire him because he's toxic. And he feels some type of way about that. I mean, adoy.
You know what face I want to make that Waka Flocka face, like, okay, like, like sorry.
Yeah. So that's an issue for him. He was working on stocking shoes, but then he had to quit that job because people started threatening him.
Son got fired out of Foot Locker?
Yeah, essentially. Or famous
Foot Locker.
Famous footwear.
DSW.
Famous footwear. DSW. Can you imagine Darren Wilson trying to put some
shoes on a 12-year-old boy or shoes on somebody? But that's the same thing, kind of like George Zimmerman came out with something saying he's going through PTSD and he's $2 million in debt.
Yeah.
We don't care.
We don't care. So, I mean, that situation's come out. He also has some interesting things to say about black people and employment. He shouldn't be talking about us to begin with, period, but especially, I mean, in this article where he's talking about employment, saying, hey, you know what, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink. You can have jobs around him, but you can't just give it to him. It's like, dude, the last year of your life should let you know that you should leave us all the way alone. You should just not talk to us about anything.
But one thing people have been talking about
a
lot, in our home city, on the Empire State Building, there's a new facade kind of.
Yeah, whatever. All right.
There's a hologram of all these animals.
Lex is hot.
That's why I wanted to get into it, because we don't care about George Minute and Darren Wilson. They can go jump off a bridge. So
they can kick rocks with Jesus sandals.
Stop. No sandals. So they've been displaying pictures of endangered animals. No shots, Jay.
Yeah.
Of endangered animals in light of recent events in the killing of Cecil, the Zimbabwean lion.
Did you have to give the introduction?
It was in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, what was his height and weight on his passport? How did that work?
What was his past criminal history?
I mean, how many lionesses did he have?
All right, so the dude who
they killed his brother,
Jericho.
The dude who
these names are tough.
They're tough. Cecil and Jericho.
The dude that they're trying to finger, no pun intended, for doing this. You'll understand the pun intended later.
You can't get away with that.
No, let me get there. His building. He's a gynecologist from Pittsburgh. You see that? You see how they're there?
Oh wait, he's from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you know that gyno office on 5th Avenue, down the block from Popeyes. Like if you're going towards downtown, that's his office.
Word?
What?
Oh yeah, it's a local dude. Oh yeah, this is not.
Oh, that's a little.
That makes it even worse for me. Like
yeah.
So
listen,
anyway,
I don't like that story. I hate the fact.
Anyway, I didn't say anything.
I know the story is, but I don't like it.
So Cecil was murdered, and the big thing about it is that Cecil was a special lion. He's one of the 35,000 endangered species lion species on Earth.
Yeah.
So they were protecting him. He was actually protected by the country and the continent, by the country of Zimbabwe and the continent of Africa.
And he was in an Oxford University study for 14 years. So they needed this lion.
They needed this lion. I mean, he was fenced in. He had a tracker on. He was in the wild, a protected, safe space. They lured him out, killed him. They took his head off. All kinds of nonsense.
This was like
for $50,000.
This was premeditated. Like they had a hitman. Mm-hmm. They did something dirty. Put a note by his body.
That lion was protected under environmental protection.
Yeah, you can't just go around murking lions in sanctuaries.
Name Cecil.
Cecil.
Right.
What is Cecil going to do?
But so here's
I know
the
where
backlash.
you're going. This is what I hate.
Here's the backlash. I mean, celebrities. I mean, people out there talking about you killed Cecil, man. They want to take this doctor's head off.
Like he did to Cecil.
Like he did to Cecil. Why are we all up in arms?
Well, okay, I understand animal conservation. I understand the necessity for it. I actually am sympathetic in that way. I think people just think it's really gross and gruesome and illegal what he did. That's why everybody's all up in arms about it. I think that's what the issue is.
I agree with Lex to a certain extent. We are up in arms when it comes to animal cruelty and animal death. Him being endangered and the way he died. However, when you juxtapose that with the climate of this culture, it is just a horrible backdrop. Not even on the canvas of Black death, but I'm talking about human death. You know what I mean? Because you, like Peter and everybody, we get up in arms when an animal died. Yes, but when it comes to your own species, when it comes to somebody of your own kind and they die, and it's just like, well, if you getting up in arms about the lion dying and you putting them on the Empire State Building,
Empire State Building.
Yeah, I mean, Cecil was shining. Like, I thought he was a hologram. He was going to dance or something.
Was this Pac coming back at Coachella all of a sudden?
Cecil going to come out roaring in a zoo.
Yeah, so people were just upset. I mean, there were all kinds of things like, I'm going to have to start dressing like a lion to get people. It was interesting.
The satire somewhat hits, but it's still on more of a poignant term when it's a little bit sad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the backdrop is just, it's very clear and candid right now. And it's like, fam, a lion?
So you're saying there's a clear difference between the value that we put in human life and in certain animal life? Are you saying there's a clear difference?
Not just animal life and human life, but the cesspool that human life is and how much things were traded for. You know what I mean? When it comes to not just animal life, like see how many different things either die or perish or change, and how we interchangeably human life to that, and we always weigh it to that when it comes to it. So
I mean, it's true. Think about it. There was a police dog who got shot in Pittsburgh. Like,
I remember that.
Last year, they flew the American flag at like half mast
for
the dog.
You haven't saying that's a police burial. It's a sworn.
It's a dog.
I know, but it's a sworn police officer. That guy's getting extra time because he murdered a police officer.
The dog had a family. He had a salary. Like, he had stuff to take care. He had puppies.
He might have had a broad on the side.
Stop.
Let me ask you guys one more thing. Actually, this is a good segue talking about the cops. Did you guys see what happened? I forgot what state it is, but there was a
Cincinnati.
A cop. No, I don't think it was Cincinnati's a city. I don't think it happened there. There was a cop who in a school they had to put handcuffs on an 8-year-old boy with ADHD.
They put handcuffs on 2 kids.
I mean, so one incident was recorded. That's a Latino boy, but it had happened previously with a Black boy. Mm-hmm. And so the whole country's in outrage. I mean, Nancy Grace, everybody's going crazy. It's a sad.
I hate her.
It's a sad video to see. I stopped liking her, Jodi Arias. That whole trial, I was done with it. Yeah. It's a sad video to see because the kid, he has ADHD. I mean, he's kind of going off in the corner. And his arms are too small for the handcuffs, so they handcuffed him behind his back,
all the way up to his arm.
With his biceps, and he's obviously in pain.
He's 8.
It's a messed up video.
It was a messed up video.
I'm only bringing it up because we had the discipline conversation with the lady, I think it was in New Hampshire or Maine, who yelled at the lady's kid, but this is to a whole nother level.
To me, it's like you do that to teenagers. Like if I'm in high school and teenagers acting up, I'll be like, yo, I'm gonna call the cops. I think that'll incite fear.
Yeah,
it's like 8-year-old boy with a behavioral disorder.
Yeah.
So against technically, this cop is discriminating against someone with a disability. It's against the disability.
That's actually part of the argument right now too.
And
he's too young. He's too young for cuffs. He's too young for cuffs.
8 years old.
I would even say that's just the limb of it when it comes to the clarification and the candidness of our lack of control.
Right.
And sensitivity, you know what I mean? Because we throw somebody in jail for stealing a Snickers. You know what I mean? We bring the cops for an 8-year-old boy. Like, you really don't know how to handle children or anybody in this type of circle, and that you're showing it by this. You know what I mean?
Agree.
And it's just so wild that the handcuffs are too big. You chain his head in.
You want to say something?
Yeah, to me, because my best friend, she taught children with emotional behavior disorders, and some of those kids might have ADHD or other traumatic effects, and she was trained on how to take care of those people. I blame the teacher too, whoever was the teacher in that classroom.
But you would think that the police officer who's assigned by his department to be at a school, you would think that there would be some sort of training on taking care of a situation like that. Mm-hmm. The only reason I bring it, one of the reasons why I bring it up, it highlights this bigger issue, and I didn't even know this, that apparently, and this is an underreported number, 50,000 kids a year are restrained in school buildings using cuffs or other restraining devices.
I'm not surprised.
And the overwhelming majority of those are minority students, Black and Latino boys.
Why?
I'm not surprised.
I didn't even know that this was a huge issue in the country, but it is. Kids are being restrained. This is from lower grades all the way to high school in school buildings because people don't know how to control them or how to diffuse certain situations. That's a better way of saying it.
And I also think the culture,
I didn't know that.
the culture there sometimes can perpetuate this type of behavior when it comes to feeding one type of behavior and responding it with the next. Because I talk to teachers all the time that if you ain't hip to urban kids, if you ain't hip, you don't come at them biting. Because they don't know bark. They bite. You know what I mean? Like, you have to know how to deal with them. If not, you throw gasoline and then complain when a fire erupts. And, of course, people, when they see a fire, they won't put it out. But it's like, yo, who's the arsonist? Who added this?
like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put it down.
We could have
like,
been a lot more proactive about this, but now you want to go slap cuffs on a kid.
And now he got to tell folk I was 8 years old and it's like, come on, what type of memory is that?
What happened to calling a child's parent?
Yeah, I mean, that could work. That might could work.
Call his mom.
Call his mom. Take him out. Take him to the principal's office. Put him on a timeout. Put him in another room. Put him in a different place. Don't put him in handcuffs.
There was a kid like in Tampa or like in Florida somewhere who was 12 in a similar situation. And like they put him in cuffs and like escorted him to the car.
Yeah, so I saw that.
Slammed it, and they released his mugshot. I'm like, dude, really? That doesn't make any sense. Listen, we have a few things we're going to get to in today's show. Well, one thing I'm really excited for is this conversation we're going to have about the GOP race. Race for president in general, but the GOP, the Republican side of things, they've selected the 10 people who are going to be in Thursday's debate. There was kind of
Trump
a warm up.
president.
Yeah, don't say that. It was kind of a warm up yesterday. So that's going to be an interesting conversation. What else do we have on the docket?
We have, we wanted to talk about, I think we were going to talk about Future. I know we talked about Sierra.
Yeah.
And there were certain things that we talked about that I now want to revisit because I do have a different mindset as it pertains to
people think that she's set tripping by having Russell Wilson with her,
She's
with
not.
Future's kid all the time.
Future's
is acting like a disgruntled baby mama.
You taking one of my 2,000
We're
babies.
revisiting that comment.
You know what I mean? You taking one of my 2,000 babies and letting him see. Look, Future got mad
and introducing
kids.
him
He
to
got
a
mad
Christian, God-fearing man. How dare you?
No, listen,
Come on,
Future's up there with like Amari and,
he's up there
Antonio
with
Cromartie and all that.
He
Dwight
been
Howard.
drinking that dirty Sprite. That's what he been
It
doing.
is. Go and brace it.
The other thing that I want to talk about too was this whole thing that happened with the Satanist structure out in Detroit, where they did it on a free speech thing. That's an interesting conversation, and we have a special guest coming in studio today.
We do.
Who that be, Alyssa?
We have Tara McIntosh. I work with her. I'm a community coordinator out in Hazelwood. She has a poetry group that made it out here from Pittsburgh to a national poetry slam in California. And we want to get them more here, talk to them about what local artists are doing. We have some artists in the building, and we'll get to them too.
So she'll be here. If you're tuning in, listen to the 9 o'clock hour. We hope you catch the podcast, SoundCloud.com/OffTheRecord883. We're live every Tuesday at 8. We'll be right back here on Off the Record, 88.3 FM. See you in a second.